Can Christian Craig sweep the 250 class and win every single race this year? Does Jason Anderson, El Hombre, and Aaron Plessinger, do they get on streaks now that they've got on top of the top box? Or is it just some fortunate luck that all the top runners, or at least the big three as we like to call them, had a bad race tonight? Let's dive into it. So what is up, guys? It is Rodak with Rodak Survival. Excuse the voice and the energy if it is low, but if you guys watched my last video, you know that I tested positive for that particular virus that's sweeping the nation like a brand new iPhone. But I am still here on the grind. It is 1:30 a.m. when I am recording this, so I hope you guys appreciate the grind because I'm still not feeling that great. But you guys didn't come here to talk about me. We're here to talk about 2022 Oakland Supercross. Let's hop into it. So I'm not gonna go over the heat races. If in the future, if anything crazy goes down in the heat races like we had last week with Swole and Nichols going out, then I'll mention that in there. But we all love the main events. That's where the points and the money are made. So let's go ahead, hop into that 250 main event. So the 250 main event was actually pretty crazy for me. It started off with someone who went and completely 180'd their start from last week, and that is Joe Shimoda, from being hung up in the gate last week to whole shot in this week. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see, everybody was kind of up there. Hunter, I think he was in 6th or 7th. Moseman was in 5th. You had Hammaker up there. You had Craig up there. You had Shimoda up there. So all the heavy hitters that we wanted to see. Christian has been dominating everybody in the whoop sections, and both of these first two rounds have had 2 of them. But you could clearly see when he was behind Shimoda, he could just catch him at will in the whoop section. So after that first lap goes by, I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, okay, Shimoda is really consistent. So with him running up here, he's gonna be in a top 3, that's for sure. I just don't know if he has that raw speed. And then all of a sudden, a few laps later, he stalls it coming out of the corner. Christian gets by him, starts to pull away just a little bit. Maybe that got into the mind of Shimoda that Christian's pulling away, but then also he had his teammate and Moseman all within 3 bike lengths of each other. They were all right there rolling around in a train, and Shimoda just absolutely throws it away, front flips in the whoop section. He seems to get up pretty quick. I'm sure that's all that adrenaline going, because later on in the race, it really looked like maybe that hit that he took really affected him, because he did start to drop back in the standings. So hopefully Shimoda's all good, but I was very shocked by that because he is very consistent. I believe I said that he resembles kind of like a Dungy to me, of the Mr. Consistent thing. Well, that was not there tonight. I don't know if he got the jitters of them guys behind him, or if he just knew he had the lead, then he threw it away, and then he tried too hard and just ended up just front flipping over there in the whoop section. Now, I hate to say these guys have an easy night, but Christian's making it look easy. Maybe that's not a fault of mine saying like, oh yeah, it looked easy for him, because we all know Supercross is so easy, but Christian is making it look easy. But I also don't believe Hunter's making it easy on himself, because man, Hunter just cannot get a start. I feel like if Hunter can get a start, he can hang there with Craig, but if Craig can get out to these 4 to 5 second leads, he's gonna run that. He's not being pressured, he's not being challenged. And I believe the only person that can challenge him is Hunter Lawrence as far as speed goes, but Hunter just cannot get a start. This seems to be the case for him last year. I said it in every video that I've made this year leading up to it. I'm just like, man, Hunter has got to get a start, and I believe he can run up there with Craig. Maybe Craig might be a little bit faster than him in the whoops or something, but no one has been able to pressure Craig. He's been able to just get out to that 5-6 second lead and just run his race. He's not being pushed. And then we had Moseman up there. I picked him to be on the podium tonight, and it seemed like he was running good. He had his opportunity there and just washed the front end out. Looked like he got a little too anxious coming out of that corner before you're going to hit that double. Washed the front end out, and yeah, that was podium gone after that. It's really disappointing to see it from Moseman. We know he's fast, but he just can't stay consistent, man. Now, someone I've been really impressed with is Seth Hammaker. He came through in 2nd last week, came through in 3rd this week. Him and Hunter just kind of flipped positions, but I am really impressed with Hammaker. He did have some of those moments where you could see his age in there, getting sideways in the whoops, or coming up short on a jump, or just missing a rhythm or something like that. But as far as staying off the ground, which these other guys, other than Christian Craig and Hunter Lawrence, seem to be able to do, he's just been able to do it better. We've seen Moseman down in the first 2 rounds. Shimoda runs into the gate and he goes down. It just seems like Hammaker is ready to take that next step. Maybe next year he comes in with that raw speed. Maybe he catches himself a win this year. If Christian and Lawrence get into a battle and they maybe take each other out. But really been impressed with Seth Hammaker this year. So yeah, guys, coming to the line on your 250 podium, it's Christian and Craig coming back with his first ever back-to-back wins in 250 Supercross. You had Hunter Lawrence in 2nd and Seth Hammaker in 3rd. Overall, a pretty good race. The guys just seemed to not be able to stay off the ground tonight, but the guys who did, they came out on the top 3. Now let's go ahead and hop into this 450 class. So what's funny is I was actually talking about this with somebody today. We were kind of discussing who we think was going to be on the podium, who was going to be in that top 5, and we just kind of discussed that there was that crazy stat that Webb, Roxon, and Tomac have won, 87% of the races over the past few years. Even though we know the guys of the likes of Barcia, Cincerillo, Stewart, Anderson, Plessinger, we all know that they can win races, but it just seems like they can't get it done whenever the time counts. And that's what basically we were discussing. We were like, it's going to take, I think, maybe Roxon going down or a first corner pile up, Eli with everybody with a bad start, and then we'll see some of the parity that we like to speak of, that we like to think that we have in the 450 class. And boy, that is exactly what happened tonight. Roxon, Webb, Tomac, all of those guys just seem to get horrible starts. The tracks seem to have been pretty one line these first 2 rounds, where all the guys are just so close in time that it's really going to be hard to make up time, where basically if you're not in that top 5 start, or you're not in the top 5 after the first couple of minutes, I think it's going to be really hard if they keep building the tracks these ways to be able to make up time and to actually be able to find that extra half a second to a second a lap faster. And that's pretty much what happened. Adam got out front, but I think as all of us race fans know, Adam's dealing with that shoulder. We knew that he was going to drop back. Anderson worked his way up, got around Cincerillo. Plessinger's followed suit pretty quickly after that, and then as well as Justin Barcia, and that's really all that we saw happen in this main event. Guess who goes down? Your points leader, Ken Roxon. He had a pretty hard get off in that whoop section. It just seemed like the whoops weren't kind to him today. We saw the qualifying crash that he had. We saw the main event crash that he had, both in the whoop sections. Bummer for Kenny. Ended up coming out 13th after that crash tonight, so props to him for crashing in practice. Chase basically running over his head and still gutting it out and coming out and racing, and then still finishing the main event, because man, that's every reason to just throw your helmet and be like, I'm done for the night. Like, I've hit the dirt twice, but credit to him for coming through in 13th, but he was your points leader. So with that happening, everybody was trying to get their mathematician skills ready to go, because of the way the guys are running was just seemed like completely reversed from the week before. I think even at the end of the night, who was it? Was it Anderson that is now second in points, and he jumped 8 spots? Roxon dropped 4, another guy dropped went up 3, another guy dropped 4. It's just, wow, what a crazy night of racing. Once the order kind of got where it was, it kind of stayed where it was. You had Eli there in 4th. It would seem like he would catch Barcia, but then it seemed like he'd slow down. And then you had Malcolm in 5th, who was slowly catching up to Eli and would get like within a second, and then he would drop back. Webb just seemed like he couldn't find any rhythm on the track, and he finished out 7th. It's just, it was like a complete flip from A1. And that, guys, is why we have the love for Supercross like we do, because anything can truly happen in these races. It's just crazy. Now let's give credit where credit is due. El Hombre, Jason Anderson, coming away with the win tonight. You could see how much it meant to him when he came over that finish line, all the emotion, and then the post-race interview. You could tell he was really fighting back the tears. And you just don't see a guy like Jason Anderson, if you look at his Instagram or anything like that, as being like an emotional guy. He seems like almost kind of like a hippie type. Like, it seemed like if he was in a different life and there was no motorcycles, he would just be a hippie out on the beach and yeah, just living out of a van. But it was really cool to see him dedicate the win to his grandmother. Just all around, I am so incredibly pumped for Jason Anderson. I had him coming in 3rd tonight. I had him coming in 3rd last week. It looked like he got that breath of fresh air by going over to Cowie, and it just looked like this season was going to be really good for him. So I am super pumped to see him come away with that win. Then you had Aaron Plessinger at the beginning of the race. Whenever Anderson took the lead and Plessinger took 2nd, I really thought it was going to be a closer race than what it was, because it seemed like Plessinger was really going to catch Anderson. He was catching him, keeping him within time, and then just after about that 10-minute mark, Plessinger just kind of started to fall off. They all kind of just got into a groove. Same thing with Barcia. They just all kind of stayed within that like 3 seconds apart from each other, and that's really just how the main event played itself out. I thought within that last 6 minutes or so that Tomac was going to be able to catch Barcia because he started running the fastest laps, but then after about a lap or 2 of that, he just kind of fell off again. So guys, no fireworks this week like we did last week, with Barcia taking out Anderson and Musquin taking out Stewart. It wasn't the same this week. But let's give credit where credit is due to that podium that is Jason Anderson coming away with his first win since 2018. Aaron Plessinger is 2nd. He is getting really close. I think if he can ride like that again the way he did tonight, he can definitely pull off a win this year. And then Justin Barcia, he's been the most consistent this year. 3rd in the first round, 3rd in this round. He is now your new points leader. Did we ever see this coming? He is now the red plate holder, and Jason Anderson is now in second in the points after coming through in what, ninth last week. So completely just flipped everything on its head. Results just completely flipped as far as standing goes. And like I said again, this is why we love Supercross. Anything can happen. Now guys, if you liked the video, go ahead and smash that like button. I'm gonna be here all season, bringing the news, bringing my predictions, bringing my post-race reports. If you do enjoy them, like I said, hit the like button. And overall guys, if you are just ready for some more videos, some more content, all on Supercross, I can't wait for Supercross 5 to get here. We're gonna definitely be playing that game early. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You guys know what to do. And if you have any thoughts on the race or feel like I messed something up or you agree with me, whatever the case may be, leave it down in the comments. I don't take anything personally, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.